Emmy had always been a dreamer. With her head in the clouds and her heart full of hope, she saw the world through a kaleidoscope of possibilities. James, on the other hand, was a pragmatist. Grounded in reality, he believed in hard work and logic. Fate had a curious way of bringing these two souls together in a story that would intertwine their lives in a way they could never have imagined. They first met on a crisp autumn day, a chance encounter in a bustling cafe. Emmy was engrossed in a worn book of poetry, her fingers tracing the words as if they were a map to another world. James sat across from her, nursing his coffee and lost in thought. He noticed her from the corner of his eye, a mysterious girl with eyes that held 1,000 secrets. One day, their paths collided more intentionally. A local charity event brought them together again. Emmy was passionate about helping those in need, her heart worn on her sleeve as she tirelessly worked to make the event a success. James, with his practical mind, was drawn to her energy and determination. As they spent more time together, their differences became apparent, but it was their contrasts that created a magnetic pull between them. Emmy's dreamy nature fascinated James, and he found himself opening up to her in ways he never had before. He shared his dreams, his fears, and the vulnerabilities he had long kept hidden. In return, Emmy shared her vivid imaginings, painting a world where anything was possible. They became confidants, each filling a void in the other's life they hadn't even realized was there. As the seasons changed, so did their relationship. Their connection deepened, evolving from friendship into something more profound. It was a gradual shift, like the colors of a sunset bleeding into twilight. They began spending more time together, seeking solace in each other's company. Their differences, rather than driving them apart, became a source of strength. Emmy's optimism tempered James's practicality, while James's realism grounded Emmy's flights of fancy. But life is never a straight path, and storms inevitably come. The first real test of their bond arrived when James received a job offer in a different city. It was a coveted position, a chance to climb the corporate ladder and secure his future. He was torn between his ambition and his feelings for Emmy. Emmy, in her heart, understood the importance of the opportunity, but the thought of their separation was a blow she hadn't anticipated. With heavy hearts, they decided to give a long-distance relationship a try. The first few months were filled with hopeful messages, late-night calls, and promises of a future together. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the distance took its toll. The time zones that once seemed like a small obstacle now felt like an insurmountable barrier. Miscommunications became more frequent, misunderstandings harder to resolve from afar. The very qualities that had drawn them together now seemed to amplify their differences. James's pragmatism clashed with Emmy's idealism, and their conversations turned from playful banter to heated arguments. The strain on their relationship was palpable, like a thread unraveling from the fabric of their love story. One fateful evening, as the sky outside Emmy's window was painted with hues of pink and gold, she received a message that would change everything. James had been offered a promotion that required him to move even further away, to a city on the opposite coast. He confessed that the distance had become unbearable, and he wasn't sure if he could continue the relationship. Emmy's heart shattered, her world suddenly devoid of color. She had always been the optimist, the one who believed that love could conquer all. But reality had dealt a harsh blow, revealing the limits of even the strongest emotions. She replied with a tearful message, understanding his decision but unable to hide her pain. The days that followed were a blur of emotions. Emmy grappled with the reality that the love she had nurtured so dearly was slipping through her fingers. She revisited their shared memories, the laughter, the stolen kisses, the whispered promises, each moment a bittersweet reminder of what they once had. In the end, Emmy chose to channel her pain into something positive. She poured her emotions into her charity work, creating art that reflected the complexities of love and loss. Her creations resonated with many, and she found solace in the connections she forged through her art. James, too, struggled with the aftermath of their breakup. The decision had been agonizing, and he found himself haunted by memories of Emmy's smile and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about her dreams. The promotion he had pursued so relentlessly now felt hollow, lacking the joy he thought it would bring. Years passed, and both Emmy and James moved forward with their lives. They found new paths, pursued different passions, and formed new relationships. But a part of them remained tethered to that brief but intense love they had shared. And then, one day, fate intervened once more. By chance, they found themselves in the same city, standing at opposite ends of a busy street. Time seemed to stand still as their eyes met, a flood of memories rushing back like a river breaking its banks. They approached each other hesitantly, their gazes filled with a mix of longing and trepidation. Words spilled out, apologies mingled with nostalgia. They talked about the past, the pain, and the growth that had come from their time apart. With vulnerability and a newfound honesty, they admitted that their love had been both a source of joy and a lesson in acceptance. They realized that their differences had been both a blessing and a challenge, shaping them into the people they had become. As the sun set behind the city skyline, casting a warm glow on the streets, Emmy and James stood facing each other. The weight of their shared history hung in the air, a testament to the depth of their connection. They knew that the timing might never be perfect, that life had a way of presenting challenges, but in that moment, they chose to embrace the present. Hand in hand, they walked through the city they had once explored together, retracing their steps and creating new memories. It wasn't a fairy tale ending, but it was a chapter of their story they both cherished. They had loved, lost, and grown, and in that growth, they found a kind of closure that only time and perspective could provide. Emmy and James, two souls brought together by chance and circumstance, had discovered that love wasn't always about forever. Sometimes, it was about the moments that changed them, the lessons that shaped them, and the connections that never truly faded. And as they walked side by side into the horizon, they carried with them the echoes of a love that had once been, and the wisdom of hearts that had learned to dance between dreams and reality.